Fellow troglodytes and Neanderthals, welcome to the Good Faith Podcast, where we maneuver around debauchery, attempting to find harmony with our fellow man and unpack degeneracy. If it's a pre-apocalyptic dystopia that you seek, then look no further, because here it is. I'm your host, Ninja Bullet. We understand you could have been a million other places, and the time's the most precious commodity any of us have, so from the bottom of our heart, we'd like to share our gratitude with you. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Due to the sensitive nature of some of our topics, we hope you will shield youngins from some of the vulgarity that may be spewed here. And it's going to be a dirty, dirty podcast tonight. It must be noted that the views expressed by the panel are not necessarily the views of the Good Faith Podcast. We're not liable for any results incurred by the utilization of our advice, nor are we a fiduciary and assume no culpability of investment performance. Our simple aim is to entertain and inform. Anybody living in the greater Philadelphia area interested in making an appearance on our show can reach me in a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Christopher Bulick. See our Patreon link in the description if you'd like to make a campaign contribution to facilitate our meteoric rise. As a candidate of the people, I solemnly swear I won't misappropriate the funds. I won't spend them at Myrtle Beach golf courses. I won't gas up a corporate jet to fly to Tulum. I won't fund arms dealers in the Middle East with Stinger missiles and Harrier jets. I won't buy a bunch of stupid shit.
Open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions.
Oh, I like money. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
In all seriousness, times are tough, and any proceeds we receive will be going towards avoiding eviction, keeping the lights on, medicating Clark with all of his health concerns, and feeding our gracious guests. Once again, if you feel that you've been given value by us, it takes a little extra effort to like and subscribe. This is your notification that the Good Faith Podcast is now available on not only YouTube, but Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Patreon, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and RSS.com. I'll keep pushing out these episodes so long as our following stays growing. Here's a special shout out to our faraway friends in Christchurch, Kenya, Zambia, Nigeria.
Ryan McMullen said, like and subscribe.
Yo, y'all better like and subscribe that shit, man. I'm telling y'all, if we don't get 20 more likes and subscribes in the next 15 minutes, we gonna shut this shit down. To all my people in Venezuela, Uruguay, Brazil, Finland, China, Cabo, Tijuana, Mexico City, Holmes. Yeah, if you're living in Bermuda or San Diego, Holmes, you better listen. Vatos in San Jose, Sacramento, San Francisco,
Augustina
Portland.
A. said, person turquoise waving.
Hi, all. Seattle, Spokane, Cheyenne, Nebraska, Salt Lake City, Denver, Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Chattanooga, Charlotte, Winston-Salem. Smoke up. If you're in Winston-Salem, smoke up, Johnny. Raleigh, Asheville, Greenville, Birmingham, Atlanta, Orlando, Pensacola, Lexington, Cincy, Kansas City, St. Paul, St. Louis, Houston. It goes by Houston. Detroit, Chicago, Nashville, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, South Bend, Richmond, D.C., Vancouver, Edmonton, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Calgary. Hey, buddy, if you're in any of those places, say hello. Maybe you're going out right now. If you're going out, have a good time. Have a good, safe time. Get home safe, okay? Harrisburg, Manchester, Albany, and New York City. You guys fill my heart with joy every time I see y'all pop up on the map. If you'd be so kind, chat while we're live. Let us know where you're living, and we'll try and target your demographic with content specific to you. The path to notoriety will be for our listeners to spread the good word of the pod. If you have somebody in mind who would agree with our content, may be informed, or even if you want to ridicule us, send a link to your friends and family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All publicity is good publicity. Our objective is to have balance between the red and the blue. So if you have somebody in mind who enjoys listening to pods, please spread our channel. If you're interested in joining our movement, we represent hashtag Iriubiamu. That means I respect you only because your opinion aligns with my own. It's okay to show love and tolerance to anybody with an aligned opinion and to treat who doesn't have enough. Feel free to disrespect anybody whose opinion doesn't mirror yours and to treat them with bratty toxicity. After all, respect is only earned by somebody with an identical belief system as your own. Hashtag Iriubiamu. So at this time, we're going to introduce our guests. Dirty Dan, what is this? Is this your fourth time on the pod?
I think so.
I think it's your 4th time on the pod. You were here for our pilot episode, right?
Yes.
You were here for our pilot episode. You were here, I think it was like around episode 4, and you were here for like an episode in the in the late teens or 20s, and now you're here for episode number 23. So I think you might now officially be the most featured guest on our show. But in case anybody's just dropping in, please introduce your name, age, occupation, and highest level of education completed.
Me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? My name's Dirty Dan. What were the questions?
Your name, age, occupation, highest level of education.
I'm 33. I work at a produce and garden center. And my highest level of education is my GED.
All right. Did you say you said your age?
Yep, 33.
33. All right. It's a good age. That's what age I am. Guys, I'm your host, Ninja Bullet. My age is 33. Occupation, I have kind of like five occupations. I'm in the off season of being a photographer and face painter for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a life skills coach at a private school for autistic adults. I sell shit on Mercari. I value invest, and is that everything? And I'm a podcast host. My highest level of education completed is an associate's degree in liberal arts. Now, can I have your relationship status and longest relationship, Dirty Dan?
Currently in a relationship right now.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck were you gonna tell me?
It was a surprise.
Tell me about her. Or him. I mean, tell me about them.
His name's Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Lives in New York. That's where I spent my vacation at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty good. You know. Somebody who actually respects me and values me. But my longest relationship was 9 years.
Did you two fuck yet?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Taking it slow.
Yeah.
All right. And where'd you meet him?
Well, funny story. It was like years ago. I was living on a boat.
Okay.
I was homeless. I was living on a boat, and I had a habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I met Mark on the boat because Mark used to come to the boat, and we would all go fishing, and just take the boat in the middle of the ocean and go fishing. It was pretty awesome, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But we just started talking again. I don't know, like a year ago or so.
Well, good for you. I'm happy for you.
Nice.
And would you say your longest relationship was?
9 years.
9 years.
Or
Good.
10. 9 or 10, something like that.
My man.
All right. So my relationship status is single. My longest relationship is about 3 years. So do you care to share your orientation?
I am going to say bisexual.
All right. And I'm just plain boring vanilla heterosexual. And can I have your spiritual beliefs?
My spiritual beliefs are Nordic.
Okay. So no change there.
No change there whatsoever.
All right. And my spiritual beliefs are once again plain boring vanilla non-denominationally Christian. All right, so we got a couple of rules of engagement on the show. Rule number 1, respect. The Good Faith Podcast endeavors to harbor a culture of respect. Although some topics may be contentious in nature, it's of paramount importance that a general good faith exists between us. It's perfectly acceptable to attack another's opinion or mentality, but ad hominem attacks are strictly prohibited. Rule number 2 is honesty. Upon your arrival on this show, it's expected of you not to be deliberately obstinate. Due to the complex discussions that we embark on, a certain level of creativity and imagination is necessary. The above withstanding, you may be asked to step outside of your worldview and think of things from a hypothetical perception. And if asked to a stubborn, I don't know, or deeply entrenched failure to conceive alternative ideas is harmful to the good spirit of conversation. Wait, is this Mark does he have face tattoos?
No.
Okay. So, do you know who I'm thinking of?
I don't.
Okay, never mind. Rule number 3 is trust. We trust that guests on the panel will refrain from any hate speech, particular demographics, and any other general avoidance of anything that can be considered a violation of the terms of service of the platforms and publishers that we choose to post on. Nudity is strictly prohibited, and in efforts to preserve our reputation, we request that guests of the show avoid intolerant language. No calling Italians, greaseballs, Guidos, guineas, or wops. The only wop we like to talk about on this show is wet ass pussy.
Okay, so you're appropriately whopping, which means your pH levels are perfectly balanced.
Beat it up, N-word. Touch a charge.
All jokes aside, I really do detest the use of the F word, the N word, and the R word. El Gato may chime in with popular culture sound bites and may even go as far as dropping an M-bomb, but if you'll note, they, them are black. That's their word. Rule number 4 is consideration. Nobody wants to listen to some diatribe by one person. So please consider the air of the room. We ask all members to contribute equally in their communications to have a somewhat internal clock when speaking. It may sound like this if you're being ushered to a swift conclusion.
Yo, the sound is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
You're fucking done, son.
You're done. You're done.
You're making a mess. You either do it right or you don't do it.
But I want to do it.
You're done. You are done.
The 5th rule is fun. We aim to have fun at the Good Faith Podcast, to build a culture of fun and debate in an attempt to reach across the aisle and perhaps educate and learn things from the many walks of life. Remember, only boring people get bored. We have a P.O. box for our complaints and grievances. The address is 123 up your fucking ass. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, we do endeavor to create a safe space for constructive criticism, and we will consider all complaints and grievances. Finally, a philosophy of curiosity is welcomed. Instead of criticizing a viewpoint you don't understand, please seek to understand it. And the final rule number 6, is integrity. If you mean what you say what you mean. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Prattle isn't helpful towards providing a prescription for helping folks. A lot of conversational topics are phrased in a binary form. Would you rather this or that? While the nature of most opinions falls somewhere in the middle of two extremes, we ask you to please try and identify which pole you lean towards. The purpose of this is because we aim to graph data based on our findings. And well, you can't graph, I don't know, it's a little bit of both. So if the question is, which is better with peanut butter, jelly, or chocolate? I don't know. They're both so good. Isn't adequate. Which do you prefer with your peanut butter?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Marshmallow fluff.
All right, gotcha. So you're always going with this this contrarian angle that I'm not expecting.
Who, me?
Yeah. All right, so we got the fragrance of the week, y'all, is Vintage Heroes Red. You wanna try it?
Sure.
It's a masculine cologne with a blend of wood and spicy notes, a citrus accord of mandarin orange, lemon, and chinoto with a hint of rosemary, black pepper at the top, and a heart of the fragrance, floral middle notes of rose and geranium. And I kind of like it. It
smells good.
Yeah, it's a little more zesty than some of the ones that we've had before. Shit. I think the shirt of the week is like Jane Bennett or something like that. I fucking slack of the week, Calvin Klein. Hat of the week, my brand new San Diego Padres hat. I always say, look good, smell good, play good. That's my motto. Movie of the week. I didn't get to this. Have you seen any good movies lately?
You know, around Christmas time, I saw Wicked in 3D in the movie theaters.
Was that good? Like,
it was amazing, actually.
Really?
It was
okay.
Awesome.
I haven't brought myself to watch it. Around Christmas time, I watched Mufasa.
Yeah.
And I fucked with that. Book of the week is The Psychology of Money. I was actually on another podcast, and my associate suggested reading Psychology of Money. So I started the audiobook. Influencer of the week is Aaron Clarey, who's an economist turned, now he's in the red pill space, talks about the economy of the dating world and how expensive it truly is. You know, he's written, I think, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 books. He's just like a really cool, laid back guy. And he's all about men's self-improvement, which is what I'm all about. So I liked him. Stock of the week, Microsoft. And if you know me, you know that Microsoft is my fucking, I love this stock. This week it fell below $400. So I haven't brought myself to buy any, but like I'm going to soon. Like I can't see it sticking around this low for long. So I'm gonna write an article probably tonight or tomorrow about Microsoft, and obviously it's gonna get my stamp of approval because I think it's the best stock to own in the entire world. With a competitive space like podcasting, little guys like us, we're competing against big guys like the Joe Rogan podcast, Call Her Daddy, New Heights, the Bill Burr podcast, Whatever podcast, Kevin Samuels podcast, Expeditious, Fresh and Fit, the Michael Sartain podcast, Modern Wisdom, The Ramsey Show, Impact Theory, Talk Tua, Pierce Morgan Uncensored, and about 100 million other podcasts. Podcasts die at a rate of about 50%. Because they lack consistency, they don't schedule, they don't keep up with their schedule enough. They lack the marketing, getting their product out to the listeners. Like the last biggest reason for pod fades, lack of originality, lack of connection to the listener feedback. So if you guys are listening, please, like and subscribe. Please comment and let us know how we can, engage you better. All right. I'm gonna get silly because I like to start each podcast with some funny topics, some bread and circuses, so we can, really, loosen up a little bit. So, we like to form our Mount Rushmore.
MRD's 1117 said AII.
Yo, what up, Nasty? All right, so. Form your Mount Rushmore. Just brainstorm, kind of bring some ideas to the table. The first Mount Rushmore we're gonna do is PILFs, Pokemon you'd like to fuck. So I'll start. I think shelter would be a really nice, warm, wet place to put your penis. Don't you concur? It's got that like tongue, got the tongue sticking out. It's like a little wet clam. Like I'd like to insert my Schmeat into a shelter. What do you have any other ideas?
MRD's 1117 said WRFyo.
What the fuck, yo? What do you got any suggestions? I could think of a couple.
A couple?
Yeah.
Fucking licky tongue.
Lick a tongue. All right. So Nasty, the first, if you're just tuning in, the first topic is the Mount Rushmore of PILFs, Pokemon you'd like to
Ryan
fuck.
McMullen said Lopunny.
Lopunny, Lopunny was gonna be on mine. Lopunny's got a big fat ass, dude. I'd like to fucking get in that Wapony, if you know what I mean.
Wapony?
Okay, so you're appropriately whopping, which means your pH levels are perfectly balanced.
You said lick a tongue?
Yeah.
And anyone else? There's got to be one more to make it a Mount Rushmore. You could throw Gardevoir on there. You could throw who else could you throw on there? Who's a sexy Pokemon you'd like to fuck? You got Hitmonchan, but Hitmonchan's a little masculine for my taste. Trying to think of a nice feminine, like maybe a fairy type or maybe like a normal type.
I'm trying to think.
Let me see. I could open up my Pokemon Go app and sort through it.
That's what I was about to do.
Not Snorlax. I don't want to.
Not Snorlax. You're gonna need that fucking pokey flute.
It's got to be a bipod, meaning it has 2 legs. I'm not fucking nothing with 4 legs.
Did you ever see that picture where it's like, son, we have to talk about the Pokemon you've been catching or whatever, and it's this kid in bed and there's like a Machamp and all these buff ass Pokemon.
So what about a what about fucking I don't know. I was thinking maybe Jinx.
Jinx.
Fucking Jinx. Fucking yeah, I wouldn't like all the fairies are a little bit too rotund for my taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking through right now.
Makes you think about your Pokemon a little bit differently, doesn't it?
It does.
I
would say Glaceon.
Nah, it's too bestial to fuck a quadrupod. I think it is. If it's got 4 legs, I want to fuck something that's like a humanoid. You know what I mean?
That's what's called Slurpuff.
Let me see it. What about what about a Guzzlord? Okay, Slurpuff. Slurpuff probably gives some sloppy toppy. What about a Swalot or a Guzzlord? Those 2 would probably like give some nice sloppy toppy, right?
Probably.
I'm gonna go with. Do we want to go with Swalot? Because I want something that can swallow a lot of cum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
What about Mienfoo?
Mienfoo? It's too like alien. Like I want something that's.
I'm just going through these Pokemon right now.
So you actually wrote that one girl looked like she was hurting for a squirtin'?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hurting for a squirtin'. I wrote that.
Oh, so you wrote hoe for show.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
All right, I'm going Swalot. All right, now let's make a Mount Rushmore of Pokemon you'd like to eat. What would be a tasty Pokemon that you could chop up and eat?
Buffalo.
I was thinking mostly cattle Pokemon like Miltank. I love Miltank, but
yeah,
I'm gonna go Miltank. And what about Tauros?
I was gonna say Tauros.
Yeah,
next,
Tauros.
Actually.
And now what about a
Arbok too?
I was thinking, what about a Galarian Surfetched? Or I think a Surfetched. He's got like he's look at him. He's holding like a chive and like a leaf of like you chop up the duck, fry the duck, and then roast him in like his chopped up like chive sword. You know what I mean?
I would eat this motherfucker right here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Surfetch would be a good feast.
But Buffalant's 100% number 1.
All right, we got Buffalant, Miltank, Tauros, Surfetch,
and Paris.
All right, now if you had to get into a gang brawl, which like 4 Pokemon would you want to be on your side? Obviously, Machamp is like number 1, right?
Yeah,
Machamp. It's probably going to be the fighting type, I would assume, are going to be the ones you'd want to brawl with, right?
Yeah.
Machamp,
probably like Thundurus.
What about fucking Blaziken, dude? I feel like Blaziken is like a badass.
100%.
We'll go Blaziken.
Gonna go Machamp, Blaziken, Thundurus, and another good fighting type. What the hell is its name?
What about Sawk?
Sawk
looks like he's don't fuck around in battle. You know what I mean? But you could also go with like Poliwrath is like a tried and true
this-
fighter.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, I was thinking Hariyama.
Yeah, Hariyama.
And who was the other one? Thunderos?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay. What about Pangoro?
Ooh.
I feel like he don't fuck around, dude. Look at him. He's like a badass motherfucker.
Damn.
So do we want to go? You also got.
It's got it right here.
He does look pretty badass. All right, so we want to go. You want to go Thunderous?
Yeah.
All right, we're. All right. Well, thank you for engaging me in that shit. I want to talk about. Let's take this time now to fucking pridefully share where we're at in the year. Any milestones that you have completed. So I can start if you want. I just finally got to the milestone of benching my body weight for 15 reps. I appeared on another podcast as a guest, and that's going to be available on my channel pretty soon, as soon as they post it. I shot a 68 in disc golf on a course of 19 holes while I was on vacation. And I've now attended an AA meeting in 3 different states. I've been doing an AA meeting in Jersey, PA, and California. Do you got any milestones that you're proud of? It doesn't necessarily have to be anything like earth shattering. Just
I coming up on 18 months sober.
Congratulations.
I'll have 18 months on the 11th. On the 11th of what is it, March?
Mm-hmm.
That's the next month, right? March?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the 11th of March. I beat Hogwarts Legacy to 100% completion.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, but I did it.
Okay.
And I became a cashier at my job.
Nice. Does that come with any kind of a pay raise, or just
It did not actually.
not? You should. When was the last time you got a pay raise?
6 months ago, maybe.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you really only should expect a pay raise. Look at fucking Clark. He's just fucking. Look at him.
He's just chilling, leaning over the bed. He did bury himself under the blanket earlier.
Oh, fucking. Yeah. You should really only expect a pay raise every like 8 to 12 months, I'd say. Anything more than that is like, extraordinary, I'd say.
Mhm.
But that's still good. Are the duties like more like relaxed, like less strenuous work?
Nah, I still got to do everything else anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, it's still a move in the right direction. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Anything else? Do you have any goals for the new year? And I got a soundbite for this. Here we go.
If I were to ask you what you did this year, it would boil down to basically, I managed to pay my rent. I managed to eat food most days. I had a little bit of stinky puss. I even managed to save a little bit of money. You managed to find a place to sleep, eat, stay warm, and you did it for a whole year to think you achieved things. Guess what else out there managed to stay alive for a year, stay warm, and eat and not die? Around, doesn't even have a face, living in the dirt.
So what goals do you have?
Oh! Before I get into the goals, I do have another achievement actually.
Okay.
I paid off my surcharges in Jersey, and I paid my restoration fee in Jersey, so I can now get a license.
Congratulations.
So that brings me into my goal for this year
Is
to take the written test to get a permit and get a license.
all right. I would add, hopefully get another pay raise this year. I think, just to stay on, just to continue to outpace inflation, you need to be getting, like a 2% raise each year, or you're going to get buried by inflation. So, even if it's just fucking 50 cents an hour or whatever, you know what I mean? That can help a little bit. My goals are always to, I want a 6-pack this year, dude. I want a fucking 6-pack. Do enough fucking sit-ups every fucking week. I do like 500 sit-ups a week. Like, it's all about me eating less carbs and sugar. So I really want to cut out carbs and sugar out of my diet. I want to continue to appear on other podcasts other than this one, continue to get new guests that I've never had on before. I always obviously cherish having old guests like you, but if I want to expand my exposure, I'm going to need to continue bringing new guests onto the show and to, continue appearing on different podcast channels in order to, get more exposure. So have you heard about this girl Dank Demos? Dank Demos or whatever. She's this big fat bitch.
Big fat bitch, okay.
That's a huge bitch.
Her name's Dajwa Blanding, suing Uber for not being able to fit her fat fucking ass inside an automobile. When invited onto the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God on the radio show, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She wasn't able to sit inside a computer chair, so they provided her a couch to house her big, fat, protruding fupa. So, what do you say about this kind of shit? Like, do you think people should be able to sue corporations for not anticipating that they're going to be like fatter than a human being should be?
No, it's not the corporation's fault you eat too much.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know we're not all like genetically designed to be this little petite person, but there's a difference between being like a tiny little skinny twig and being so fat that you can't fit inside of a fucking automobile without like messing up the axle and the alignment and shit like that. Like the Uber driver's not going to get any type of like reimbursement if his fucking vehicle needs, like maintenance because she's so fucking fat, so it's his prerogative if he wants to like kick her out or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's this reel I saw on Facebook where there's this like big ginormous like bitch on a plane.
Okay.
And she's like wiggling or whatever, and she like took up 2 seats, and when she jumped down, it showed a vision of a plane crashing. Oh, that's crazy.
I say bring back shame. That's what I say. Like,
bring back body shaming.
Yeah, and like I'm like I want to be a body positivity podcast. I want us to be positive towards fit bodies. We can be neutral towards unfit bodies, or we could, like, I don't want to be negative, but if your weight is problematic to society, if you're unable to like fit in an airplane seat or unable to fit in it. Oh, yo. So I get on the fucking airplane coming back from San Diego. Got a couple of souvenirs, some hats, some t-shirts and shit like that from San Diego. And the bitch at the counter is like, your luggage is 4 pounds overweight. Would you like to pay $100 or would you like to like, shuffle some stuff around? I'm like, shuffle some stuff around, but like, I better not see no motherfucker I better not see no overweight motherfucker on this airplane. You're going to make me fucking inconvenience myself over 4 pounds. Like, if I see somebody with fucking 40 extra pounds in their fucking fupa region, like, I'm going to lose it. I say bring back shame.
Body shaming is fine until it's all about the weight.
You don't have OCD. You have obesity. Okay, thank you. I didn't know my psychiatrist was on here. Thank you.
Oversized stomach and a pair of floppy breasts, isn't that right?
Meathead, fatso, wide butt, Wally the whale.
Porky, hog, fat ass, double wide, butterball, those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
So today's the last day of February, right?
It is.
So one thing we got to look forward to on our in March is we're gonna be doing March Madness with sound bites. So I'm gonna make like a tournament bracket, and we're gonna see who's the ultimate. What's the ultimate soundbite on here? Do you have any favorites from listening?
What, to March Madness?
No, to like our sound bites. Are there any sound bites you're a big fan of? Like,
Screw you. Leave her alone. She doesn't want to talk to you.
I know you like this one.
B drill.
Everybody know that's Big Dick B.
Bees don't even have dicks. It's a stinger.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make like a fucking tournament bracket. We're gonna see which is the best soundbite voted on by the audience and by the panel.
I also like the one where he's like, I like money.
What I like? Fucking what's his name? Fredo from.
I open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions.
Oh, I like money.
I got some great ones.
Erroneous. Erroneous.
Stop it. Get some help.
Don't even get me started on the Kevin Samuels ones. I just added this one, Greta Thunberg.
How dare you?
Yeah, so guys, please look forward to that. I hope you are all with us for the month of March, because I think March is going to be a special month for our podcast. We're going to be making it to the Quad Centennial, our 25th episode in March. Hopefully, if there's something that you guys want to hear us discuss, always, table it. We'll talk about it. There's never going to be a topic that I'm afraid to discuss, for fear that it'll be offensive or, bothersome to the listeners. No conspiracy theory that I'm going to shy away from. So, do you want to administer some of our Reddit advice to why don't we?
Sure, why not?
Why don't we administer some Reddit advice? Let me get it up here. All right. So, all right. Here's okay. Speaking of obese people, last year on my birthday, my girlfriend, 26, ate the last piece of cake while I was at work. Not just any cake, my favorite cake that my mom makes from scratch every year. I had specifically told her I was saving that last slice for when I got home. When I asked her about it, she just shrugged it off and went, "Oh, I didn't think you'd care." No apology, nothing. I was pretty annoyed, but I didn't make a big deal out of it. Fast forward to this year, my mom made me the same cake again. My girlfriend asked for a slice, and I told her.
K-Fam said, that bitch eating the cake.
Eat the cake, anime. I don't want it, Ike. I said, eat. I need to add that soundbite. Have you ever seen Tina, the movie about Tina Turner?
Oh, yeah.
And you say, eat the cake, anime. I don't want to, Ike. Eat the damn cake, anime. This bitch. My girlfriend asked for a slice. I told her, nah. After what happened last year, this one's all mine. She laughed at first, but when she realized I was serious, she got pissed. Said I was being ridiculous and holding a grudge over cake. Yeah, bitch, you ate the last slice. I told her it wasn't about the cake. It was about her completely disregarding me last time. Now she's barely speaking to me, and a couple of our friends are saying I'm being petty. I don't think I am, though. She couldn't respect it last year. Why should she get any this year? What do you think about that?
I mean, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah,
my
dude.
Last piece of cake.
All right, like it's not like some cake that he doesn't like. It's not like some stale piece of carrot cake that was bought from the fucking Wegmans. It's his favorite cake that his mom makes for him. It's his birthday, bitch. It's not your birthday. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she got a slice of the cake. I'm sure he didn't fucking like, neglect her and not give her any of the cake. She probably had enough cake. You know what I mean? He was just like trying to save the last slice for himself. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, I say bring back shame that bitch for eating the last piece of cake. I'd fucking
fatty.
buy a billboard, let everybody know that she ate the last slice of cake like a fucking porky.
Meathead, fatso, hard butt, Willie the whale.
Porky, hog, fat ass, double wide, butterball, those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
All right.
K-Fan said, I would be pissed that big back face rolling on the floor laughing.
All right, so next one. My husband, like, I don't know, he's 32 or 33, got laid off today, and it's hitting him really hard. All evening, he's been calling himself a loser, deadbeat, asking me how it feels to be married to a loser, etc. It breaks my heart to hear him talk about himself that way. I told him that, and that he brings so much more to the table in our relationship than his income. I would love him if he sold flowers on the highway. For context, this isn't the first time he's been laid off. He lost his job in 2020 and found a new job in 2 weeks, but the job market is way worse now. He's also been hating his job and his manager lately and looking for new work. Financially, we're fine. I work full-time, though he made slightly more than me. We don't have kids. We own a house. He got 6 weeks of severance pay. He's just been feeling really down on himself, and I hate seeing him like this. We've been married 6 years and been together since we were basically kids. I just love him so much and hate to see him talk about himself so negatively. What do you think about this one?
I mean, positive reinforcements, really all you could do, just make sure, give him positive reinforcements, he'll find a new job, it'll be all right.
I think
you always
You know what
pray.
your problem is? You do? You're just like me. Trash!
You also always pray for him.
Yeah, pray for him. The comment said, jump his bones. This is the way. If he's anything like me and other men, just give him time to digest it and his avenues. It sounds like you genuinely care, and kudos to you on that. Keep showing him support. He'll figure it out because facts. Sex helps comfort him through intimacy, a blowjob, and a steak. Yeah, I agree. But like the number one precipitator of divorce is the husband losing his job. I'm pretty sure a blowjob will make him feel better. I gotta say, some dudes take this hard for a long time, like a year. Listen, be thoughtful, hang in there. Tell him not to be a pussy and move on. Find some shit to do that gives him money. Yeah, I mean, whatever it. Yeah, like it is just. It's not an aphrodisiac for a man to like talk down on himself, call himself a loser and shit like that. So whatever he needs to like get himself out of this funk, so that way he is not so that way he's not fucking being Mr. Sourpuss. You know what I mean? Any other advice for that guy?
Not that I could think of.
Okay. My ex came back in my life after a year of no contact. I was doing fine, but I realized I barely moved on. I have channeled my energy towards other things, throwing myself towards my work, hitting the gym. I've grieved, I've cried, and still yesterday she broke no contact, and it's like nothing's changed. I plead for her to text me again. That's a bad look. I want to talk to her the entire day. What gives? It was a good relationship, and the breakup was messy. But it's like none of those vindictive feelings ever existed now. What am I doing wrong? And this commenter says, where you're going wrong is that you are placing a fallible person on the pedestal of your heart, almost as if she's an idol. If you believe in God, that's where he should be, because he is infallible and will never leave you. When you guys broke up, the pedestal was empty, or she never left the pedestal. So, of course, when she came back into your life, she immediately assumed her previous position. This was the hardest lesson I had to learn with my ex, and it didn't make sense until I was brought to my knees. Sounds corny, but sometimes the truth is very corny. Whether you're religious or not, keep this in mind. A purpose higher than another person is needed because those people will not always be there. And the OP said, you have no idea how close your advice is to exactly what people who know the situation in real life have said. I think you're spot on, but I'm not religious and probably won't be. I do have a higher purpose, and the priority of that over her remains. But she's a close second, probably. And the guy said, glad to hear that, friend. Guard your heart and your spirit. Your desire to love somebody is by design and should not be ignored. The tricky part is doing this without turning it into worship of them. That's where the God part really started to make sense to me. Loving God means loving others unconditionally. And it's a lot to love someone unconditionally, to love God through them. Keep your heart open to the idea. And like, what do you think about this?
I mean, you should never really hold anybody too high up on a pedestal because people are not perfect. And if this person lets you down, then, I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, you know what I mean? But if you put this person on such high regards and they hurt you, it's kind of your own fault, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, you can't help it. You're a person. Your feelings might get hurt.
And what do you think about reconnecting with an ex after one whole year of no contact and a messy breakup, which he, used the term messy breakup? Do you think that it's at all similar to like sorting through the trash for like that, piece of a sandwich that you threw out and like, you're really hungry the next day and you go through the trash for it? Like, I just think it's like it's approaching the situation from like a low value, scarcity position, I think. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. Somebody did that to me. I'm telling that bitch to kick rocks.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's over. It's over. Don't don't go sorting through your skeletons in the closet trying to turn one of them into like a prospect for a healthy relationship. There's a reason why you broke up. Maybe if they came crawling back, pleading you to give them another chance, that's one thing. But if it's like, if you've been like, what's the word? If you've been like harping over them, or groveling this whole time for like a year, they're just gonna like assume that you're, low value, you got no leverage, you got a scarcity mindset, and they're gonna, eventually they're gonna disrespect you and take advantage of you once again.
I'll tell you what. I would say kick rocks. 100% kick rocks, unless you bow your head and apologize.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, and it doesn't even need to necessarily be like. Doesn't even necessarily need to be like, I'm so sorry, it was all my fault. But like, just maybe like a show of contrition. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I realize I'm at fault for some of this shit. Would you? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like she initiated any interest in being with him. You know what I mean? It seems like he's kind of just hung up on his ex this whole time, and now she just, gave him a modicum of communication, and he's like, oh, there's still a chance. Oh, maybe I can get back with her.
All I'm saying is, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do it, But all I'm gonna say is, nah, kick rocks. Unless you come, bow your head and apologize, bearing gifts, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Nah, bitch.
Nah, get the fuck out of here.
How dare you?
How dare you, bitch? Get the fuck up out of here.
You fucking smart.
All right. This lady needs perspective. At what point am I leading him on? I've recently started seeing someone new, and so far it's been nothing if not conflicting. 2 weeks ago, he, 27, asked me, 29, out. I said yes because I had thought about him in the past, what it would be like to date him, have a relationship with him, etc. Here's the thing. After 2 weeks, I still don't feel that sexual attraction that I felt to other people instantly. In my experience, if I'm instantly sexually attracted to someone, they're usually bad for me. I kind of cringe when I imagine kissing him. That's always good. So why haven't I ended things? Because I can more easily picture a relationship with him than with anyone I've ever thought about. He's nice. I'm so comfortable around him, and he gets on with my family really well. I don't feel I don't feel this means that I'm possibly leading him on. He's a great guy, and I wouldn't dream of hurting him in that way. What are your respectfully worded thoughts on this? So I think this girl's story perfectly sums up the intersexual dynamics that that men and women go with. This is why I'm always trying to tell men not to be a fucking nice guy. This is the box that nice guys get put in. Women can see them as relationship material. She cringes when she imagines kissing him. She can easily picture a relationship with him more than anyone she's ever thought about. He's nice. Oh, she's comfortable around him. Yuck. Comfort and desire are like fucking polar opposites. If a girl is totally comfortable with a guy, she will not desire him. You know what I mean? And if a girl totally desires a guy, she might not want to get totally comfortable with him. Like there's a sexiness to a spontaneity. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and just being totally and completely available for a woman, it dries her up, it turns her off. What's your advice
What about being nice?
about this guy being super nice, but I mean, he's nice. She's so comfortable around him. He gets on with her family really well, but she cringes at the thought of kissing him. She doesn't feel that sexual attraction. What's your advice to these two young man and woman?
My advice? I mean, I got some advice.
I say it. Like, don't fucking hold back on my account.
Just start being a dick. What do you want? Be like, hey, can I have some of that? Fuck no. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
What do I look like? Some kind of fucking charity worker? Get the fuck out of here.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is why I say nice guys finish last. And so I commented on it. I said, you see the potential in his long-term beta soft sweet qualities, but not the short-term potential
Suitor
desire.
2013 said, if she doesn't want to kiss him, it's because of physical attraction or confidence.
Yeah. I mean, I said you see the potential in his long-term beta soft sweet qualities, but not the short-term potential desire that you would feel for an alpha. Desire cannot be negotiated. Women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. By definition, they punish the guys who are marriage material and they reward the fuckboys. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. Women have evolutionarily adapted to have, and once again, this is not all women, but most women have evolutionarily adapted to have a dual mating strategy. So they, in their late teens, in their 20s, they go for the fuckboy chads, the guys that they meet in Tulum or the guys that they meet in Mykonos, the guys that they meet in Cabo when they're on vacation in their bikinis, and these guys, have that sexual attraction. They are, they're really appetizing for like a short fling, but then they get to a period that's called the epiphany phase in their early 30s, early to mid to late 30s, when their sexual market value starts to depreciate, and then they start to go after the guys who are nice, soft, sweet, husband material men. And once again, this is not all women, but if you had to, take all women, more would fall in this camp of having a dual mating strategy than not. They have their prospects for short-term love. Those are the guys that those are the guys that are muscular, the guys that are tall, the guys that are, have all the options, and they really don't expect that guy to be like a husband material. They just know that it would be fun to jump his bones for the night. And then there's the soft, sweet guys who are going to be nice, and they might be like physically repulsed by the thought of kissing that guy, might be physically repulsed at the thought of having sex with that guy, but they know that he's going to take care of her long-term security. He's going to provide for her. He's going to be, a good father figure. So it's a really thin line to have to toe as a man, because we don't want to be fucking assholes. Like, nope, I don't think anybody wants to be an asshole, but women reward assholes with their sex. So what decision are we left to make? You know what I mean? Dirty Dan?
What's my thoughts?
Yeah, like your initial advice was that he should become an asshole.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yes. I mean, it's hard for me to say that you're wrong, because like I said, women reward the assholes. They punish the good guys, they reward the assholes. So why would you? I mean, you could scour the earth for a good girl who doesn't move in that sort of way, but at the end of the day, most women behave in that way. So most men choose to become assholes in order to, be attractive to most women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see if I got some other shit here. I got some like yeah, just more about this is Lila Rose tweets that encouraging a mother to have an abortion because it's what's best for her is like encouraging a father to abandon his child because it's what's best for him. Let's create a culture that encourages the respect of human life, not the selfish destruction and abandonment of it. What do you think about that?
This is on abortion?
On abortion, yeah. Like I hate to beat a dead horse, but I just, if I ever see like a tweet or a post that I agree with, I'll like save it.
Okay, so I mean, one thing, I got some thoughts on it, you know what I mean?
Go off, King.
Some. Two consenting adults, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A mistake happens. Girl gets pregnant. My belief is you should have to deal with it as full-grown adults, you know?
Yeah.
Now, however, it should be a different story if a girl's 12 years old.
Of course.
You know? But you're going to make that child keep that baby. And at the end of the day, like, my thoughts are what is so beautiful about birthing your father's child. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you're going to sit there and say, oh, there's no abortions, but this girl's 12 years old. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the word I'm about to say.
If it begins with a P, don't. Or if it begins with an R, don't.
Okay. So, gets
yeah, she gets mistreated.
Gets bleeped by her father.
Let's
say it like that. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna say that 12-year-old girl can't get an abortion.
No, like I draw some pretty strong and firm boundaries on when I think it's okay. And I think it's kind of the genocide of our generation. You know, like about a million humans are aborted every year in America alone. That's
Yeah.
That's like a genocide.
Like-
you know what I mean?
Like if me and you went out and we got girls pregnant like tonight, and
yeah.
you'd be like, "Oh shit, this girl's pregnant." I said the same thing. I'd be like, "Well, guess we got to man the fuck up." You know what I mean?
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
Let's go out and get some girls pregnant tonight, dude. That sounds like a fun time.
Let's go get some girls pregnant.
No, but yeah, like I'm in a position where I mean, I haven't met somebody who I would like to be the father of her children yet, but if it came to, did you want a Coke?
Yeah.
All you had to do was ask.
That's all I had to do.
Oh shit.
See?
Yeah, like I haven't met someone who I'd like to father her children, but I'm in a position where if it happened, like I'm gonna be responsible for the life that I
Created.
Yeah. All right, so this girl Chikawazi, she says the scariest part of your 30s is realizing you have to grieve the life you thought you'd have. No one prepares you for this kind of loss. Let's talk about it. In your 20s, you create a vision of what life should look like. The perfect career, the dream relationship, the milestones that are supposed to happen on time. And then reality happens. Maybe you thought you'd be married by now. Maybe you assumed you'd be thriving in your dream job, living in a certain city, or feeling more sure of yourself. But instead, you're looking at your life, wondering how you ended up here. No one talks about the grief that comes with unmet expectations. It's a silent, unspoken loss, the version of you that never was, and it hurts because it makes you question if you made the wrong choices, wasted time, or failed yourself. You scroll through social media, seeing people who seem to have figured it out, the engagement photos, the career wins, the picture-perfect milestones, and suddenly your life feels like it's lagging behind. But here's what I wish someone told me sooner. Grieving the life you thought you'd have is part of stepping into the life you're meant for. The more you resist it, the more stuck you'll feel. Your 30s aren't about catching up. They're about course correction. You're shedding the timeline that was never truly yours. The dream job that wasn't actually fulfilling, the relationship that wasn't meant to last, the expectations that were rooted in who you used to be. It's okay to feel the sadness, the confusion, the frustration. It's okay to let go of the life that didn't happen, but don't stay there too long because the life in front of you, the one you're actually meant for, needs you to move forward. Do you ever feel like you get stuck in this trap?
No, not really, because to be honest, in my 20s, I always thought I was going to die in my 20s. You know, I didn't ever think I was going to make it past my 20s. And then next thing you know, I did.
Well, good for you.
Now
Man, I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though.
Fucking. Yeah. Well, that's good for you. I feel like I don't see you on social media much. There's a definite link to like high social media use and like depression. Like we're all like everyone on social media is always sharing the bits of their life that they want to share that makes them look like they're winning all the time. Nobody posts their L's on the internet and shit like that.
on social media, I only watch reels.
Okay, yeah. Pretty much same with me. Yeah.
With dogs that come up with a voiceover like dinner time.
Yeah, this past week I've been watching a lot of like golden retriever videos. They're so happy all
There's
the
like
time.
this bulldog, and then like this guy comes up and does a voiceover. He's like, dinner time. They're like, nah, you ain't getting dinner. He's like, but I want some. And he's stomping his paws down. It's great.
All right. What are you like?
Kate M. said, I got off of all social media platforms because it did nothing good for me at all. I only watch reels too on TikTok, LOL, cooking ones, LOL, and funny animals.
So no Instagram, Kate? Like I'm I'm on TikTok. I only post on TikTok. I don't like doom scroll on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I spend my most time on Instagram watching mostly reels, but yeah, like a little bit of Instagram and Facebook. I'm on too. Do you think I should cut off Facebook and only post on the gram and TikTok, but don't do any doom scrolling?
K-Pen said, no, I don't do Instagram really. I
Huh.
have an account, but it's for reels too, but more TikTok for me.
Okay.
Mine's more YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
YouTube.
I religiously use YouTube, but I use it for like educational purposes. Like the only stuff that I listen to audiobooks on YouTube and I like watch podcasts on YouTube. But I don't do it like my use of YouTube is rather responsible.
If I go on Instabang, the only thing I
What's it? Oh, Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I go on
K-Pen
Instagram,
said, Facebook depressed me big time and I hated seeing all the fakeness. I
Really?
love YouTube too.
Okay.
yeah, if
I
go-
might get off Facebook. I
If I
don't.
go on Instabang, I watch the reels with Ricky and the Boss.
Who's Ricky and the Boss?
Ricky and the Boss is awesome. It's this guy. He just does all these different characters.
Okay.
and he portrays an old dude named Roscoe. And then he does like Ricky, and Ricky has like the big eyes with the big ass mouth,
Uh-huh.
with the like squeaky voice. And then you got the Boss and then the safety man. And they're always writing Ricky up. It's so funny. Ricky and the Boss. It's great.
Let the boy watch.
So, all right. Well, do you have are you like obviously you have like a pretty good level of contentment. Do you have any desire to interview for another job, or are you content in your you said no?
I said, I do want a different job
Mhm.
eventually. But the only thing is,
K-Pen said, I just Googled Ricky and the Boss. I'm gonna be hooked now, face rolling on the floor laughing.
Ricky and the Boss. It sounds just funny.
it's awesome. So I do want to get a different job, but the thing about it is I live in Levittown where transportation is damn near impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait until you have a car and you're able to, be as free as a bird and
Yeah.
go wherever you wish.
So that's just the goal. Like I'm just trying to get a license right now.
Okay.
So
So this can maybe when you get to that point of your life, this segment will be useful for you. So these are questions that you ask the interviewer if you're to be in an interview. These questions will give you some clarity about the job position, and they might even make the interviewer more likely to consider you for the job. So my go-to question that has never failed me to get an offer is, let's say you hire me in a year, what kind of metrics would let me know if I've done a good job?
K-Pen said, it'll come. Just keep your eye on the prize. I can hear your motivation and determination through this. God bless and good luck, bud.
It'll come.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna do it.
So let's say you hire me in a year, what kind of metrics would let me know that I've done a good job before we go into my annual review? This lets them know. It does a lot of things. It makes them think like they've hired you. So it's going to like plant that seed in their brain like they've hired you already. It details the expectations of the job. It's open-ended and allows them to talk. It allows the manager to talk about their communication preferences, and it shows that you're interested in taking proactive steps to improve your performance. And I think it also yeah, like it also lets them know, because I mean, yeah, there are some jobs that are like some jobs that will go more than more than a year without without sending you any kind of like annual review, no kind of salary increase. So it lets them know kind of like, yo, I want to have my performance reviewed every single year, and if I do a good job, then I'd like to have my salary increased.
Yeah. I had when I first moved out here, I had 3 job offers. One was
Nice.
at Walmart,
Okay.
and then the other one was at AT&T.
Being in sales.
Yeah, selling phones.
Yeah, so and what was like the base salary on that? I'm sure it's mostly commission.
So I think it was like $10 an hour plus commission.
Yeah.
So it was that right there or whatever. It might have been 15 an hour plus commission. I can't quite remember. It was so long ago. But then there was the job that I have now, which is the closest.
Okay.
And I'm just able to walk there every day.
Yeah, that's really nice. And like I said, once you have a car, you're gonna have more opportunities to make money. And the sales job's always going to be there, like sales positions always need people. So if one day in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months you decide you want to give that a try, you absolutely can. And I think it's good for every working person to have a little bit of sales experience, because it doesn't even necessarily have to be for professional advancement. Just having like some sales experience makes you, there's going to come a time in your life when you're going to need to sell yourself, whether it be to an employer, whether it be to a romantic partner, whether it be to, your, friends and networks or whatever. And
I'm a salesman.
All right.
I'm a salesman.
KPM said, the constructive criticism is necessary to grow, but the validation and positive feedback keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
Reviews are a must in my opinion.
Yeah, I like to remind my supervisors, to give the entire team performance reviews every year. I think I got one coming up pretty soon, because my 3-year anniversary with my job is approaching in early March. So yeah, I'd like to have my performance reviewed, maybe sometime in March or April or May. Question number 2: when you were interviewing here, what would you have liked to know before you joined? A lot of these questions are kind of similar like that. Like question number 3: if I were to start in this position right away, what is the single biggest contribution I can make in the first few weeks? Question number 4: what was it about my application that interested you enough to invite me to interview? And that could maybe be used to like weed out some like
Terrence Boyle Jr. said, "What up, fellas?"
Yo, that's Terry.
Oh, what's up, Terry?
Yo, do you know the real like? Yeah, we out here in the suburbs. The fuck going on, Terry? I need to get that one.
Yeah.
I need to get that soundbite. The fuck going on, Terry? Hey.
Chuck Norris doesn't do Instagram. He does InstaFist.
Yeah, but like I always get like a red flag when I get the hint that like a job is desperate. You know what I mean? Because like only shitty companies get desperate to hire employees. You know what I mean? Like good companies retain their staff, and they're never desperate. They're always, curious and eager to hire additional good employees, but they're never desperate because they're shorthanded because they're a shitty workplace. You know what I mean? Question number 5: thinking back to people who have been in this position previously, what differentiated the ones who were good from the ones who were really great? Question number 6: could you walk me through an average day or week in this position? I don't know how I feel about this one. What do you think? Question number 7: Where do I go to cry during breaks? Do you think that I think that might be a really bad question to ask, but I don't know, mate. Like, what do you think?
You know, it depends. It might be a great question sometimes. You know, because never let them know your next move. You know what I mean? Always keep them guessing. They'll be like, "Wait, was he being serious?" Be like, "I mean, I guess the faculty bathroom."
And I guess it also it demonstrates that you're the kind of person that
Kate
when
M said, "LOL, my car."
yeah, that's a good one. It also yo fuck it. I only ever I think I only cried once on the job. It was at my a couple of jobs ago. My now ex-girlfriend got me the job. It came to the attention. She brought it to the attention of the CEO that we were banging, and so he let her go. And I was just like riddled with guilt. I knew I was in over my head, and I was crying. Just crying at my desk. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like where else am I gonna cry? I'm not gonna go to the bathroom. I'm not ashamed. But yeah, like I think it's good. This demonstrates at least that when the going gets tough, you're gonna have a tough cry, but you're not gonna like quit. You're not gonna bow out. You know what I mean? You're gonna fucking roll with the punches. Question number 8. Can you tell me about the team that I would be working with? This is getting the hot gossip before you even start. Big brain move. Question number 9. What would a career trajectory or advancement look like in this position? Lets them know you're a hard charger, plus gives you an idea whether this is a dead-end job or not. All right, so that did that spark any deep thinking for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, do you want to try and improve your delusion calculator scores?
That
Or-
shit will never be improved.
let's see if we can. Let's see.
This shit will never get improved.
Do you want men or women? This is hard. It's so binary for a person like you.
Just gotta pick one.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go with women right now.
Okay. Do they want kids? Yes, no, or either?
Either.
Age range.
18 to 35.
Fucking mom.
My man.
I want to get onto the topic after this about this low experience, high experience desire in a partner, because of my answers, I've been told, like, what do you want? You want a girl with no experience? She won't even know how to shake her ass, and like it's like, all right, well, I'll save it for a second. Height range.
Kate M said, "Thank you for including 30s. Chris doesn't want 30s low."
5'2" to 6 foot.
5'2" to 6 foot.
That's a huge bitch.
Okay.
Kelly Bullock said, "Hi Chris, from Cabo."
Hey. How's Cabo ese? Are there muchos vatos en Cabo, MS-13 or some of the hombres, the heces, huh? ¿Qué pasa, Holmes? Minimum income she must earn.
40,000.
40,000. That's a good, fair number. Ethnicity.
Kelly Bullock said, "Excellent." Kate M said, "Hi Kelly, can I come meet you in Cabo? Hope you're having the best time."
Ebony.
My man.
Hair color would be,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Eye
Kelly
color.
Bullock said, "Yes, Kate."
Do you like them light skinned or do you like them like dark chocolate?
Same way I like my coffee, black and bitter.
Really? I like them light skinned with like a frizzy
Kate M
frizzy
said,
afro.
"Thank you. Hopping on a plane now."
eye color,
Don't matter.
education,
Don't matter.
religion.
Ooh, I
K-Pen
need me a
said, I
shield
like this
maiden.
guy lol.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
I need me a shield maiden.
Okay, I can't put that in.
Well, it would be.
you want
pagan.
a Valkyrie, right?
Yes.
Which
Which would be a shield maiden.
But all right, so I can only go with Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu, atheist.
Then I guess I'm gonna go atheist.
Oh no.
Stop it. Get some help.
What if she was a Satanist?
I wouldn't care.
Stop it. Get some help.
K-Pen said, what is that? Please explain.
Okay, do you want to explain for Kate your spiritual beliefs?
Oh, so I believe in Viking ideology, which a shield maiden is basically the wife of a Viking, somebody who protects the home while you are out gallivanting around the world doing whatever it is you do. So paganism is basically just Norse culture. Or Norse religion.
So he believes in Odin, Thor,
Loki,
Freya.
The Valkyries take you up to Valhalla.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So you want an atheist, and you would settle for a Satanist?
I don't care. Your beliefs are your beliefs. Who am I to judge?
Erroneous!
K-Pen said, oh wow, thank you, I learned something new. That's pretty cool. Love Vikings lol.
I'm fine with a pagan. I disavow allowing Satanists into your life. You know, they're the sworn enemies of my God. You know, so I can't I can't get on board with a Satanist. I could get on board with a pagan. I could get on board. I honestly wouldn't even prefer to get with an atheist because I've prayed with partners,
K-Pen
girlfriends.
said, Satanists for me, absolutely not.
And I wouldn't even really like an atheist. I've prayed with my with girlfriends and partners before, and it's a really beautiful way to like end your day, in my opinion. And like I just wouldn't. I'd feel uncomfortable, like praying next to somebody who's like scoffing or like thinking I was stupid and stuff like that. So the believer would be putting faith in Nordic gods, which would make him a pagan. A Christian can't share faiths. Yeah, that's what my pastor says. Yeah, I agree. I'm a Christian, but yeah, Dirty Dan is a pagan, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm fine. I'm fine with sharing spiritual principles and spiritual beliefs with Jews, Hindus, Muslims, pagans, but I draw the line at atheists and Satanists. I think that they're they're disavowed from this podcast. This is the good faith podcast, not the bad faith podcast, and not the no faith podcast.
Are you trying to say you want me to change the answer?
No. Like I actually, if you like truly believe in paganism, then that's what you truly believe. If you were a Satanist, I would.
I meant with the atheist.
K-Pen
that's up
said,
to you.
Dev's atheist. I am Catholic. My son can't get baptized because Devin isn't, and Dev won't get baptized.
Wow.
It's okay though. I will let my son decide his faith. K-Pen
I didn't know
said,
that.
even though Dev was raised Catholic and went to Catholic school lol.
I did not know that. Like I said,
I'm just gonna keep the answer atheist.
Okay. I like the bonding. Like, do you pray every night?
I do not. I never pray.
Oh, dude, I want you that as your sponsor. I need you to be praying. I need you to be praying at least once a day, even if it's just.
I don't pray. in the morning, I wake up and I talk to Odin when I'm drinking my coffee.
At least, like, and this is the we didn't talk about this with goals, but my biggest goal this year is I would like to strengthen my bond with my God, and even if like because right now my
K-Pan said, and my marriage isn't recognized by the church because we weren't married in the church.
wow, that must be tough. I never knew all that.
Really? I know people because I'm from Cape May County, New Jersey. I knew people that would get married at the gazebo on
No, like I know
what's it called?
I know tons of people don't get married as like within a church, but I just didn't know that I didn't know Kate's marriage was not recognized by the church.
Oh wow. Pretty fucked up.
But were you guys? I wonder, Kate, were you guys married by like a priest or a reverend or something like that?
Said it is. They want money. Oh hey Kate May. My parents have a place in North Wildwood.
I'm from Wildwood.
Where were we going with this? Either way, do you want a smoker?
Don't matter.
Do you want a drinker?
Don't matter.
Exclude married women.
Fuck no.
You're okay with a married woman?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a homewrecker today.
Oh my god.
Stop it. Get some help.
Do you want to exclude obese women?
Yeah.
So you don't draw the line at a woman who's in a lawfully wedded union, but if she's a little bit big boned, you're.
I mean, if they can't fit in the back of a Uber car, you know.
All right, let's find out how delusional you are. 0.2% chance.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Told you this shit would never change.
That's 336,620 of 168,310, 168,310,216 American women. Back to my point. I forget what point I was trying to.
Said we were married by an extremely religious Catholic ordained friend. I had Bible verses included in our ceremony. That was important to me and my grandparents.
Well, if you can ever get Devin to believe in a higher power, I'm actually through like some online ministry. I'm an ordained minister, and I can marry you guys in a holy union under God. If you ever want to exchange renewed wedding vows or something like that, if Devin ever wants to seek salvation from the Lord, or if he just wants to burn in hell, he can rot in a eternal pit of hellfire if that's what he wants to be, if he wants to be a heathen. But if he wants to turn over his will to a loving God, then I'm an ordained minister. I'll marry you. I'll
K-Pan said, awesome. I'm cracking up. You know how Dev is low. Suitor 2013 said, Shikawa needs to get over herself. Everything happens ups and downs. Whatever, suck it up, buttercup. In seriousness, 30s are a great time to get right what didn't work out in 20s.
Yeah. He's talking about back when we were talking about the social media and how it can be so damaging to people's psyche and stuff like that. I agree, and I'm really trying to utilize social media a lot less. I'm trying to only use it for like constructive purposes, and not be so not do the doom scrolling. So I'll do this, just for shits and giggles, because I want to show it. I want a woman. Does she want kids? Yes. Her age 18 to 26. I'm sorry to all the 27 or older women. Height range, I'll go 4'6" to 5'6". Minimum income 20,000. Ethnicity, any. Hair color, any. Eye color, any. Education, any. Religion, any. although I will add the caveat that once again, I will not tolerate an atheist and I will not tolerate a Satanist.
Said, you want a midge?
A midge, a midge. Yeah, I'd like not a like a stumpy midge, but like if she's sized proportionately, I mean I would tolerate it. I don't want it. Like 5'6" is basically my height, so like she could be my height. And are you calling me a midge? Ethnicity, any hair color, any eye color, any education, any religion, any except for Satanism and
Kate M.
atheist.
said, so you can toss her around face rolling on the floor laughing.
That's exactly why. Smoker, either. Drinker, either. Exclude married women. Yes,
Kate
because
M.
I'm not.
said, no, you're not a midge to me at all.
Exclude married women. Yes, because I am not a home wrecker. Exclude obese women. Yes, I would tolerate her if she had a little bit of extra cushion for the push-in, but I would not want her to be, very obese. And I have a 2.8% chance. That's 4,712,686 American women that fit my standards. So when I do this, and a lot of the times we get on these conversations with my guests about, no, you're fine, Kate. Kate's apologizing that the comments are coming in late, but that's what happens. So a lot of the ridicule that I face on when I say my standards, there are two big criticisms that I face. One is that I'm willing to open up my horizons to 18-year-olds, and people think that I'm fucking creepy or whatever for accepting an 18-year-old. I mean, I'll let it be known I haven't engaged with an 18-year-old in who knows how long, probably like fucking 10 years since I've been with an 18-year-old. So like I'm not like actively like going after exclusively like super young, barely legal women. But the second criticism is that I seem to want inexperienced women.
Kate M. said, they are legal. What's the problem? Kate M. said, good for you in my opinion.
I mean, my opinion, who fucking really cares?
Yeah, and I read Dr. Phil's book.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, really. Like, if you want somebody inexperienced, that's what you want. It's your preference. It is what it is. I mean, I said 18 to 35.
It's a wide net. I'm surprised that you had. It must have been because you had atheists. I would think is probably why you were
probably.
So if you were to get with a nice ebony Christian girl with like a frizzy afro and like big brown beautiful eyes, and she had like a big voluptuous hips and a nice bodacious curves on her chest, you'd be like, beat it, sweetheart. I'm saving myself for like a Nordic goddess.
I mean, probably not.
Yeah, like
Nordic goddess. That's awesome.
Kate M. said, what if they have kids? I don't know if you asked that. Question for both of you.
Oh, this is a good one. And this is one that I wish was on this calculator. Maybe I'll have to like research and see if there's a better calculator. It does not ask if they have kids, but for me, this is like a strict deal breaker. What about for you? I think we've talked about this before.
What, if they have kids?
If they have kids.
Absolutely not.
You won't
down.
entertain that.
I'll entertain it.
Oh, you okay?
Absolutely.
It's not a deal breaker for you.
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm an asshole. Like, I will throw water balloons at the back of their heads type shit.
What if all right, let's say you had like what's like a fairly realistic dream car for you?
A fairly realistic dream car.
Mm-hmm. Like if your next automobile purchase, let's say you gathered together $15,000 and purchased like a car that you were really proud to be seen driving around town in, what would it be?
Chevy El Camino.
All right, you got this beautiful, what color?
I'm gonna go with Blurple.
Blurple. So that's like a deep
like a
blue purple. Okay. You got this Blurple El Camino. You wax it every Saturday. You wax this thing. It's shiny as can be. And her kid, doesn't matter what gender, let's just say it's a boy kid. Her boy kid comes home with his Schwinn bike, and he just like fucking scrapes the shit out of your Blurple El Camino. First of all, would you want to physically discipline him?
I mean, I probably wouldn't do that, but I'd smash his bike and run it over with the pickup truck.
With the El Camino? It might do some damage to your
No, I said the
undercarriage.
pickup
The
truck.
pickup truck, gotcha. Okay. All right, so let's say you discipline him by seeking revenge against his vehicle. It's a vehicle for a vehicle kid. And you like run over his vehicle, but then she's like fucking pissed at you for being so petty. Like, then what do you say?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, like
Kate M. said, he's paying for it out of his piggy bank too.
bro, I'm saying like I don't advocate for striking children, but there are some circumstances where maybe a little bit of discipline. Kids that this kid grew up without a father, maybe his father's incarcerated or who knows what. Maybe he just is like 3 sheets in the wind, and he's just lacking discipline. You're the father figure now for this young man. Like you gotta lay down the law. You gotta smack that motherfucker. Am I wrong?
I mean, your swing's going to be destroyed. That's pretty much smacking him. What the fuck?
I mean, I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though.
There's too many complications to dating a woman with kids, in my
Kate
humble
said,
opinion.
I got told by someone that I remind them of a Catholic nun face rolling on the floor laughing.
I wonder who told you that. I don't really think so, but I think Catholic nuns are kind of like not something. I don't know. In my opinion, you're not a Catholic nun. But I want to get back to the topic of inexperience, because a lot of the time I get criticized. And I read the Dr. Phil book, and he said that Dr. Phil's dad used to tell him, you'd care less about what people thought of you if you knew how seldom they did. Basically like, why are you putting all this stock into what people think about you? They don't think about you. You know what I mean? So I really don't care what people say, but it's just like something I like to, discuss is inexperience. And like a lot of guys are like, oh, I want a girl who's experienced. I want a girl who knows how to shake her ass on my shit. I want a girl who knows how to have sex. And like, to me, that's like saying like, oh, I want an automobile that's been in a couple of accidents, so I know that it'll like keep going. Or like, when the realtor sells me the house, I want him to like throw a Rager in that thing, so I know it can hold a lot of people
Ryan
and be a
McMullen
party.
said, I want a girl that's ran through.
Yes, that's what it's saying. Like, I want a bunch of Chads in the Alpha Kappa, I don't know, fraternities. I want a bunch of Chads in the Alpha Kappa Psi fraternity to fuck
Kate
my
M.
girl so she
said,
gets
a gaping
experience.
hole that has tons of miles on it.
Yeah, like, no, I don't want an experienced lover. If anyone needs more analogies, I can come up with more analogies of what it's like. But
all I'm saying is, inexperience is the key to life.
it's good to be inexperienced.
Well, I mean, oftentimes most people that start a job don't have any experience with it.
Yeah.
And then you want a girl that doesn't have any experience. What the fuck's it to anybody else? It's what you want, honestly. And to be honest, if somebody's inexperienced, you can teach them what to do.
Exactly. All right. So I want to ask our gentlemen in the audience, you have 2 options. You
Kate
teach.
M. said, hi, Rye, love you.
All right, here are your 2 options, gentlemen. You teach your girl what to do in the bedroom, or Chad teaches your girl what to do in the bedroom. Which would you rather? Would you rather Chad and Tyrone and Jermaine and Marquand and Mark and Jimmy and Kevin and Kyle.
Kate said, Dev is such a lucky man. Ryan McMullen said, Chad, love you, Kate.
Would you rather all these brothers and all these hoodlums teaching your girl how to have sex, or would you rather take it upon yourself to teach your girl how to have sex, how to have sex the way that you like to have sex with her? Like, or do you want her to just have, paw prints of all of her past lovers and all of her shenanigans and all of her sexcapades, just on the back of her mind? Every time she sees your penis, she's holding it up, comparing it to the other penises that have penetrated her. I think purity is something to be admired in a woman, definitely in both sexes, but there's a lot of like empirical evidence that women only have like a certain amount of sexual partners before their chances of successfully being happy in a marriage, but those chances like go drastically down when she's been with a bunch of different men. So I would rather err on the side of inexperience.
Said, I guess I am a nun face rolling on the floor laughing. Lucky Dev.
Well, I mean, it's like tell me a product that gains value with age and use, man. Like I want youth, and I want lack of use. Like I don't want
A product that what?
a product that gains value with age and use.
Cheese.
No, not use.
Ryan McMullen said stocks. Ryan McMullen said tomatoes. Ryan McMullen said art.
Stop it. Get some help.
Cheese and wine.
Erroneous.
No, but use. Use means that it is consumed if it is a food product. So age and use. It can definitely maintain value if it has one or the other. You know what I mean? Like a Ferrari with 100 miles on it has more value than a Ferrari with 100,000 miles on it. You know what I mean? Like there's no product, and it sucks. I'm sorry to make this analogous comparison between women and automobiles. I know it's objectifying, but inexperience is valued in women for the same reason that experience is valued in men. Because men are able to achieve a climax with little technical difficulty. You know what I mean? All you got to do is just stimulate a male member and he's going to achieve orgasm. Whereas women, it takes a little bit of know-how. It takes a little bit of technical informativeness in order to stimulate the right parts of her. Sorry to get so graphic there. But that's my little spiel on experience, and I can go on for hours making analogies about how fucking men like things that are new. We like to break the seal off of stuff before we indulge in it. We don't like to fucking make sure that the bottle of gin is safe to drink by taking it out of the homeless man's hands and letting him vouch for it. We want to break the seal off the bottle before we drink it. That's better than anything else. So Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. And I read the book Atomic Habits. Do you have 3 habits that you attribute your success to? Which I really want prayer to become a habit of yours. Even if you just wake up in the morning, you say, Dear Odin, please give me the strength to stay sober today. Put me in the path of somebody who, is praying for my help. Let me, be an agent of your will. Thy will be done. Even if that's all you say. You could do that while you're drinking your coffee. You could do it while you're taking your shower. I think it's simple, and I think it puts you on a wavelength of of submission to God.
Well, while I'm drinking my coffee, smoking my cigarette in my bedroom.
Yeah, I do it in the. I pray in the shower every single day, and it doesn't even take any time out of my day because I'm showering. You know what I mean? Like all I'm doing is just standing there under the hot water, calibrating my mind, calibrating my soul to be on a higher purpose. You know what I mean? But what are some habits that you attribute your success to?
Some habits I attribute my success to.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I gotta think of habits. Yeah, pretty much.
Do you make your bed?
I do.
Good. I think making your bed is I think I do, like, I put it right underneath prayer in terms of, just like a beneficial habit to instill within yourself. I pray each morning, and then I go make my bed, and then I go take on the world. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
I make my bed, then I go make my coffee, and then I usually go for a walk in the morning.
Okay. There's a lot of studies that say like the brain thinks better while it's like moving and shit because I forget what the word is, but we're a nomadic species because we were
when you move around, it releases, and you go for a walk in the morning or exercise in the morning, it releases endorphins.
Mm-hmm. Because and there's an evolutionary biological reason for this because we're a nomadic species. So way back in the ancestral periods when we were like going on a hunt for like a caribou or a wildebeest or a buffalo or whatever, a lot of the times it would be, two guys or whatever, two humans walking around in the woods looking for an animal to hunt. And we just, that's where our minds get sharpened. That's where we get put onto strategic planning. So you go for a walk, make your coffee, make your bed. I'd like to see you include prayer. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I
got a new blanket though.
Oh, okay.
It's a pullover onesie blanket.
Okay.
And you button it down,
mm-hmm.
and it's an orca whale.
Okay. You love orca's a killer whale, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your favorite species?
My favorite animal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I got this blanket, and it's just like I'd like chill there and I kick my feet and I flop my arms around.
Yeah, so my atomic habits, I make my bed each morning. I pray to God. I pray, like I said, I pray that he will inspire me. I pray that he will give me the strength to remain sober. I pray that he'll put me in the path of somebody who's praying for a miracle and that I could be the tool of God to enact that miracle. And then, I start following the market, see what the market's going to do. Is it going to be a good day? Is it going to be a bad day for the market? Practice gratitude as often as possible, thanking folks for their hospitality, appreciating America for the great nation that it is. Nobody freaking does that anymore. Eating healthy foods, fueling my body with goodness, and treating every single day like $1 million. And that brings me to this soundbite because I thought this was like awesome. This is Brad Lee.
Okay, if I said I'll give you the $1 million, matter of fact, I made it 10 million.
Okay,
but you couldn't wake up tomorrow. You're done. Would you take it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what you're both saying is that just waking up tomorrow is worth more than $10 million.
That's Halliburton's perspective. Yep, it is. It is worth it.
Why ain't you feeling that way every damn time you wake up?
Oh shit.
That's my every time I pray to God, that is my first of meditation is thank you God for opening my eyes today. Thank you for giving me another day. Because like if I ask you that question, if I could give you $10 million today, but 24 hours from making that $10 million, you were going to die, would you take it? Would you take that deal?
Probably not.
So what you're saying is that tomorrow is worth more than $10 million to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think that's an important thought to have every single day. Is like today's worth more than $10 million. You know what I mean? Like today is precious, and I wouldn't trade today for anything.
Yeah.
Just have like practicing gratitude. I think is extremely powerful. So, would you be able to do a little bit of a self-assessment right now? I want you to rate your pillars. So, the 4 pillars are spiritual, financial, physical, relational. You can take your time on this. It doesn't need to be super quick.
Okay. So the first is spiritual.
You can do it in any order that you want. On a scale of 1 to 10.
Spiritual, wow, like a 7.
7 in spiritual, okay. What about financial?
Financial, probably like a 6.
Okay. Physical?
Physical, probably like, let's say 6.
Okay. And relational. How are your relationships with folks?
Pretty good. Say like an 8.
Okay. And I would say spiritually, I feel like I'm only a 6. Is that what you said? 6?
I said 7.
7. There's no way you're more spiritual. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I'm a 6 spiritually. Financially, I think I'm like a 7 financially. Physically, I think I'm an 8. Relationally, I think I'm a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Not good at relationships.
I have like a small circle that I'd like it to be a bigger circle, I'd like to have more good friends. And I only have I cherish the friendships that I do have, but I'd like to have more,
True.
Do you want to talk about finance? Are you willing to talk about your finances?
Sure.
Okay. Let's form your balance sheet. So, do you know what a balance sheet is?
K-Pen said, the smaller the circle, the better quality.
Yeah, it's true. But
K-Pen said, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe that your network is your net worth, and you're always going to be the culmination of your 5 closest friends or 10 closest friends, and I would like to always be adding, high value friends to my circle, so that way we will rise together. But do you know what a balance sheet is? Your debts on one side, your liabilities on one side, your assets on the other side. I want to know, are you a positive net worth? Which I think you may be, but do you have any? You're not paying for a car, right?
No.
You're not paying for a mortgage or anything like that, right? You have 0 consumer debt. Do you have a credit card?
No.
No consumer debt, right?
So.
No consumer debt. What else could there be liability wise? Like no student loans, right? Okay. This is all good so far. Is there
I
any?
mean, you can't really get student loans if you dropped out of high school.
Do you have any debt? To your knowledge?
Do not.
0 debt. That is good.
And what I did,
My man.
and what I did have, I paid it off.
Good.
Which I wasn't really a debt. It was more so pay this money to get your license, you fucking dickhead.
You're gonna live with me now. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Cause I love you.
These are the kind of people that I like to have in my circle. People who are debt free. All right, now assets. You might also be. I don't know. You don't have a car, right?
I do not.
So no car. You don't have an education. You're pretty balanced.
I mean, I have a GED.
Oh yeah, like I'm not, and like I'm not trying to like take away from you. I'm just trying to get a financial snapshot. You have no type of investment portfolio.
I do not.
That's something that I think that I would like to influence you to get involved in. So
What, investments?
investments, yeah, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be, let's say you get a $100 paycheck every week, which I'm sure you get more, but let's say you get a $100 paycheck every week. You have the discipline to take 10 of those dollars and invest it into the stock market. And what happens is, as time goes, that money grows. And one day when you're fucking 75 and you don't feel like working anymore, then you take all that money that's been growing for the last 40 years out of the market and you're like, oh shit, now I'm on easy street. Because what happens with a lot of people is they procrastinate on investing, life gets in the way, they don't have a nest egg, and then they retire, they have zero income and their body's not able to work, and like they're dependent upon social security, in a nursing home. I'd like to see you be, rich and have, all the blessings of being, an involved investor for the past 40 years when you get to that point. And no property, right? No property. All right. So are there any other assets that you could think of that we might have missed?
No.
All right. Well, got an Xbox. I don't know if I would include that, but yeah, I mean, so I would definitely like to see. I would love to see you stay debt free while beginning to invest 10% of your income into the stock market. And what that will do for you is, right away, you're going to see no change. It's going to be super slow. But after 40 years of doing that, I think you're just going to marvel at how amazing your financial snapshot is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm going to get on you about that. I got on my sponsor about it, and I mean, he was willing to give it a try, but it's really important that you do it consistently. If you don't do it consistently, it loses its power. Yeah, there's I said we were going to talk about conspiracy theories. Do you want to talk about any conspiracy theories?
Sure.
What conspiracy theories do you want to conspire?
I'm going to talk about the chemtrails.
All right, let's talk about the chemtrails.
So, when you're driving and you see all those lines in the sky from the jets and the airplanes or whatever the fuck they are, they're the chemtrails. And the chemtrails are how they spread coronavirus, the government. And then they blamed the Chinese for it. They were like, oh, we got that from the Chinese. Nah, it was from them chemtrails, I'm telling you.
Okay. See, like, and I wish I was more educated on what an actual chemtrail is. Let's see what Google has to say. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is that erroneous. Wait, I got a soundbite for this.
Erroneous. Erroneous.
The chemtrail conspiracy theory is that
Erroneous. Erroneous.
belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails, consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. Oh, wow. Here says, are there conspiracies to cause prolonged COVID-19? Cited by two chemtrails in the skies of Indonesia. Are they conspiracies to cause prolonged COVID-19? In Indonesia, there's currently a hot discussion regarding chemtrails appearing in the skies in several cities. Many people attribute this to conspiracy theories, according to which these chemtrails cause the Omicron type of coronavirus disease. Through this paper, we hope that Indonesian citizens will be able to think more positively and maintain their mental and physical health. Yeah. I don't know if I believe that, but I'm pretty sure there is somebody who, like, pretty sure they came out and said that chemtrails are legit.
Joseph Fowler said, if chemtrails are just a conspiracy, why did Tennessee pass a ban on chemtrails?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
They're not legit.
what is a contrail?
All I'm saying is the Twin Towers was an inside job.
Oh man. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that. I don't know if I'm ready to get on board with that conspiracy theory. My most recent conspiracy theory is that the California wildfires were an orchestrated land grab. There's a lot of documentation to support a plan to convert LA to be a clean green city by the year 2030. And they're nowhere close to that. Nowhere near having the infrastructure to support being a totally green smart city or whatever. So what did they have to do? They had to grab all that land. And these pesky landowners were not willing to give up their property. So what did they do? First, they dropped them all from their homeowners insurance policies, made them uninsured, and then they orchestrated a targeted attack on where they want to build this. Like, I think it's like a smart monorail that they want to build through Pacific Palisades, and I really think that the government or whatever fucking burned down all these houses so they could build a monorail through there. Maybe I'm crazy, but if in the year 2030 there's like this like super sophisticated monorail that's going through Los Angeles, I'm gonna say I told you so. Do you have any other conspiracy theories?
Do I have any other conspiracy theories?
Do you think they're putting fluoride in the water to turn the frogs gay?
Maybe. All I'm saying is it's an old conspiracy. It's real old.
Okay.
So the Twin Towers was an inside job, so that the United States government could frame Afghanistan, so they could invade Afghanistan and Iraq to steal the oil because there was an oil shortage,
Mhm.
and that's why gas was like $5 a gallon then.
There's also a lot of do you know what the Patriot Act is?
Do not.
So the Patriot Act is, I think it was like it was tabled by Bush and enacted by Obama, or passed by Obama. And it basically allows these nifty little things, our smartphones, probably this computer, probably all these like the more sophisticated the device, the more capabilities it has. But 100% this iPhone is tracking every single thing that we say, and it's getting fed to this database by the NSA and the CIA. And if we say any words like dirty bomb in Fallujah, or if we say chemtrails, or if we say, red pill or incel, if we say these little trigger words, it's, there's some dork in a, Washington, D.C., laboratory with like a million different screens. And every time, a phrase gets flagged, he's got to pull up the logs and see if it's like a legitimate threat to national security, or if it is, just some fucking knuckleheads like us in our bedroom talking about, conspiracy theories. But the Patriot Act allowed the government access to everything that is said and done on the internet. You know what I mean? And they needed our security and our safety to be threatened, so that we would, sign off on something like this. That's such a blatant invasion of our privacy. But so long as people are worried about Islamic terrorists, they're gonna sign over all their rights to privacy, under the Patriot Act. So that's if 9/11 was an inside job, which I'm not necessarily sure I'm ready to believe or admit. I think that is a big reason of why it was done, in order to pass the Patriot Act, so they could turn all of our smartphones into, surveilling devices for the CIA and the NSA.
Well, I mean, back then, actually, there were no smartphones.
Yes, and but computers, and
back then they had the Motorola Razor phones.
Yeah, but they might have this capability may have been installed in
Ryan
all of
McMullen said, "No smartphones in 2001."
Yeah, but like you gotta play. This shit is chess. This shit ain't no checkers. Like you gotta come up with the legislature to support your conspiracy before the technology is advanced enough to support it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they didn't have smartphones in 2001. They damn sure had smartphones by like 2008. You know what I mean? So it's not far fetched that. And like I said, it was proposed by Bush, but it was passed by Obama when was Obama elected, in 2007, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the Patriot Act was passed, smartphones damn sure were a technology. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like, another conspiracy theory I have, it's not even really a theory, it's fact, that BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard, all these like institutional, fucking wealth firms, are buying up single family properties, and they, started this during the fucking during the Great Recession, around that same time in 2007, when every Joe Schmo was losing his shirt, losing his property, and becoming homeless. All these billionaire institutions were buying up these properties, and now what's going on with the housing market? It's going through the roof. You know what I mean? They're selling these properties that they probably purchased for pennies on the dollar, selling them for $500,000, $600,000, $1 million for all these single unit households. So yeah, I think land grabs are big conspiracy theories that I believe wholeheartedly in. You got any others?
Did you ever hear of NESARA?
No, tell me about it.
So NESARA, I forget what it stands for. Somebody had told me about it. So NESARA is supposedly something that's going to kick in. Like we're supposed to go through like a Great Depression age or whatever.
Okay.
But then after that, everything's going to look better or whatever. And then there's going to be a new kind of currency called a rainbow currency.
Okay.
Instead of the dollar bill or whatever. So this is just this is just a conspiracy theory, technically speaking.
Okay.
So somebody was supposed to or whatever, like Trump was supposed to get voted in and supposedly it was supposed to kick in or whatever. But however, we got to go through that dark age first, like the dark era or whatever. And then like NESARA will kick in and supposedly everybody will come into a bunch of money or whatever.
No, wouldn't that be nice?
It would be. So I had a coworker that used to always tell me about it. I don't know. I haven't talked to this guy in a really long time because he's from Cape May, New Jersey as well.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like he was one of those government conspiracy guys. So henceforth, just waiting to see if he was right.
So, do you know, like, you know when you hear the term the gold standard?
No, actually.
All right. Well, the way that money used to work for majority of the civilized world, like definitely America, was that when you were issued a dollar bill, it was backed by something. You could even if you really wanted to, which I don't know why people didn't. I guess because gold. All right, like we used to have a currency backed by gold. So you could theoretically go to a bank or go to a bank and say, you know, like I want to turn in this dollar or these dollars and I want my gold. And that used to happen back, you know, well before the 60s. Nixon came in and turned our currency fiat, meaning it is backed by nothing. You can no longer go to a bank and say, like, I want my gold. That makes our currency valueless. So, like, we can use these pieces of paper to purchase stuff, but at the end of the day, like, our currency is only backed by like our global military power now. You know, like no longer is our currency backed by gold. And there's not a lot of currencies these days that are anything other than fiat. But what happened was I think it was like 1969 or so, Nixon was president and he demanded that everybody turn in their gold. So like I have a little bit of gold, I have a little bit of silver. Back then, he demanded that everybody turn in their gold, and they like drove the price of gold and silver and all these precious metals way down, so that when people were turning in their gold and turning in their silver, they were getting like shortchanged on it. And then they like, you know, as soon as the government had all the gold and silver, then they like jacked the price of gold and silver up. But like that's a conspiracy. That's not necessarily a conspiracy theory. That's fact once again. Like, I guess we should call this like conspiracy facts because a lot of these things are like proven to have happened. Do you think that the government would ever try and take our guns in a similar fashion?
I doubt it.
You just think it's like too like laborious of a task to take all the people's guns?
To be honest, that's number 2 in the Constitution, the right to bear arms.
Yeah.
So you could come and say, we want your guns, like depending on what state you're in. Now you're trespassing on my property. Now I can use this gun to shoot you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be honest, they're not going to do that probably because they don't want to get shot.
Do you so do you like similarly to the Second Amendment? I think the First Amendment is your our amount of freedom of speech is directly proportional to our irrelevance. So if nobody was watching this podcast right now, I could say like whatever, you know, if millions of people were watching this podcast right now, I'd be limited in my freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Like we don't really have freedom of speech. I can't say like fucking death to all the infidels. I'm going to bomb a church in Yemen. Like that's not okay to say, even though I just said it. But I said it because I'm relatively irrelevant on the internet. I don't have millions of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of viewers. You know what I mean? Like the shit that I say is kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you replace all the T's with D's, you'll have an Indian accent.
Wait. All right, give me an example.
Is there someone I can talk to?
Buddy, my name is Tantunder. I'm working in Silicon Valley. No, you're not. You're in Bangladesh. No, buddy, my name is Raj. My name is Roger. Roger. How can I help you?
Hello. Is there a Daniel there? Is there a Daniel there?
Speaking. Do you think it's fair for a male to commit a crime and be incarcerated for it, then transition their gender in order to stay at a safer penitentiary?
Absolutely not.
What?
Like, why? All right. So, to be honest, if I commit a crime and somebody else commits a crime and they say, well, I'm transgender, I need to go here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, are you serious right now? First of all, like I would never say that, you know what I mean? Me personally. Like, if I do something and I'm going to prison, I'm going to prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't do the crime unless you're ready to do the time.
Exactly. And if you're gonna sit there, be like, well, I'm transgender, I feel like if it was me and say so they really were transgender, be like, I'm transgender, gotta go to a women's prison. I'd be like, dude, you got a dick. Like, what do you mean?
What if they chop it off though?
I mean, they chop it off, you know, but if you got a tap, like, dude, you got a dick. Like, you're going to prison with me.
All right. I bring this up because of one Amber Kim, age 36. They're suing Washington State for moving them back to a male prison after they were staying in a female prison. Why, you ask? Are they going back? Because Amber Kim's being punished for having penetrative coitus with their cellmate. They still had a penis fucking their female cellmate. That's by definition
why you shouldn't be in a women's prison.
Yeah, like, and I think it's really unfortunate that there's such a large difference between male and female prisons. I think there needs to be reform to make men's prisons like safer a little bit, right? Like,
so the thing about it is, like, I completely understand what you're saying to make men's prisons safer. You know, I mean, to be honest, I've been to prison 2 times actually.
Talk on it.
And prison is not as bad as anyone makes it out to be.
Okay.
You know, the one thing is, like, it is what it is. Like, you're in there with people that pretty much have the same mindset as you. You know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
people that want to get better. There's people that want to change. There's people that you'll sit there and be like, yeah, they're going to be in prison for the rest of their lives type shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But if you know how to fight and you know how to defend yourself, you'll be golden. You just got to know how to fight. That's all it boils down to. If you don't know how to fight, then like you really shouldn't be worried. But at the end of the day, to make prison a safer place is kind of different because it's not that bad in prison. I mean, if you're in fucking prison in fucking what the fuck's it called? If you're
Sing Sing or Attica or
if you're
Graterford.
if you're fucking in prison in fucking Norway, that shit's gonna be bad. If you're in fucking prison in Turkey, that shit's gonna be bad.
Is Norway prison like bad? Because all of our anti-American people always say that Norway is like a utopia.
Well, I mean, yeah, Norway's probably a utopia, but you got a prison there. That's just probably rough.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have any type of information about that.
Ryan McMullen said, San Quentin, may as well call it San fucking.
Yeah, like Guantanamo Bay. Like,
Who's that? Oh, that's his cellmate. Oh, he's putting it in you hard.
Yeah, like
who's this one?
Guantanamo Bay ain't
He's
as
switching
bad
it
as
over.
people make it out to be. You know, American prisons are the easiest and best prisons to go to in the world if you're going to go to prison. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to be honest, they're not really that unsafe. And it's very rare to sit there and be like, oh, well, this person got raped because they got PREA now. So all you got to do is make one phone call and be like, yo, this person, I wasn't supposed to say that word.
Yeah,
My
sorry.
bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, please don't. What's
this-
PREA?
So it is the Prison Enforcement Bleep Act. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So in other words, if somebody sits there and penetrates your booty hole,
Has penetrative coitus with you.
yeah, in your booty
Instead of
hole,
going around him, he just banging and banging and banging. When a guy's banging you,
and
you
then
know, you spin off of him.
yeah, and you're and they penetrate your booty hole or whatever, they got that one phone number you could call and say, hey, this person penetrated my booty hole, and that person's getting in a whole ton of trouble.
You're done.
So basically, like, it's way safer than it used to be.
Okay. Well, that's good. It should like people should be punished for the crimes that they commit, but at the same time, you know, we owe it to prisoners, I think, that they're safe. You know, if we're not going to put them to death with the death penalty, they deserve at least not to accidentally, you know, die from, you know, prison gang violence and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't think it's funny. I mean, I make my little sound bites about it, but I don't think it's funny that, you know, the R word is assumed in men's prisons. Like, I think that's terribly unfortunate. I don't think that, you know, men who get incarcerated deserve to be, you know, sexually assaulted. You know, I think that says something about our culture if, you know, men are getting punished for a crime and it's, you know, pretty much a given that they're going to be sexually assaulted.
So say me and you, we were to go out, like,
oh, all right, I like where this is headed
tonight or whatever,
and
somebody is just coming at you all types crazy. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they take a swing on you. And I beat the brakes off them, catch an aggravated assault charge.
You better.
You know? And I just beat the brakes out of them. I catch an aggravated assault charge and I go to prison for it.
Okay.
You know? If I sat there and I went to prison and I didn't know how to fight, you know what I mean? Like, then I would be a little worried because sometimes in prison you got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just is what it is. Like when egos collide type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because that tends to happen there or whatever. And, you know, I mean, obviously, I'd know how to fight if I beat the brakes off somebody for taking a swing at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, if I didn't know how to fight, I would just be like, yo, bro, let's just get out of here. You know what I mean? So to avoid going to prison.
Mhm.
So the simple fact of the matter is I would just like grab your arm and we just run the fuck out of there if I didn't know how to fight.
Nah. You
know what I mean?
Nah. What's gonna happen is we gonna handle our business, all right? Like, and then
So I mean, but this is my whole point. If you can't do the time,
I'm somebody's bitch.
yeah. So this is the point I'm getting at. If you can't do the time, then don't do the crime. You know what I mean? Like if I can't do the time, then I'm not going to sit there and put ourselves in a situation where we got to do that.
Mhm.
But if something happens, something happens. If I got to beat somebody up, I got to beat somebody up. You know what I mean? In a situation like that.
My nigga.
So the thing about it is now at this point in time, like I know that if I do the crime, I got to do the time. I've done it before. You know what I mean?
You'll be fucking fat girls in no time. You might even fight a nigga or two.
Like, I remember this one time in there, somebody was like, hey, yo, give me your tray. I was like, what, this tray? They were like, yeah, give me that tray. I was like, no. And they were like, I'll take it from you. So I dumped all the food on the floor. I said, go ahead, eat it if you want it. And then he was like, I'm going to fuck you up. So I smashed him in the face with the lunch tray.
Mhm.
Like, boom. Whopped his ass. Gonna knock him out. Just whacked him with the tray.
How dare you?
And then I think my boy was just like there when he was on the floor. My boy was putting his face in the food saying, eat that shit.
You want to eat? You hungry?
They were like, eat that shit. And I'm like, go eat your cornbread.
What you looking at, bitch? Get on the ground and share a meal with your man.
Round 2 of my killing spree. We'll be up in this bitch. Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
All right, so do you want to talk about anything else, or you want to wrap it up?
Oh, we can wrap it up.
All right.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Oh wait, first I want you to share your gratitude with a person. Don't share your gratitude with me. Share your gratitude with some other person out in the world.
Share my gratitude.
Share your gratitude.
1 eternity later.
Pretty much. I just want to thank all the people who listened to us tonight and me when I was spewing my nonsense. Like, what was her name? Kate?
Yeah, Kate. Kate's a loyal listener. Kate, Rye, George, Joe, my mom.
I'm going to give my gratitude to Chris's mom, Kate, Terry.
Terry, of course. How can I forget Terry? Yo, Terry's my biggest Patreon subscriber. Guys, if you're interested, subscribe to the Patreon. Do you want to...
And everybody who listened to me spout bullshit all night.
Do you want to... Why don't you make a... I want you to look at that camera, and I want you to... Hold up. Wait, let me find it. I want you to do a... Where the fuck is it? Oh, god damn it. Scuffed. I'm always fiddling around with Elgato trying to find this shit. All right, ready? Get in the right headspace. Here we go. I want you to look in.
Terrence Boyle
There he
Jr.
is.
said, elbow cow.
What is, he says elbow, like it's an elbow emoji, I guess, like a fighting emoji. All right, ready? I want you to look into that camera and give me the most sincere. This is like the role of a lifetime. Do like a Sarah McLachlan like public service announcement trying to get people to subscribe to my Patreon. Ready? Here we go, and action.
If you liked what you saw here tonight, I would highly recommend you subscribe to the Patreon, like, follow, and have a wonderful night.
talk about the starving kids in Africa, talk about the wet cats and dogs that are unfortunate that I'm going to help with all the money that I get, talk about anything that will drive Patreon subscribers.
It'll help with the starving children in Africa, the wet cats and dogs that do not have homes, all the money for Clark's medication, and everything else. The money will not be used for vacations in Boca, and everything that you donate will be donated to good causes. That being said, peace out. Have a wonderful night.
That was very powerful. Very powerful. Well done. Guys, seriously, I'm like you said, I'm not gonna go to Boca. I don't even know where Boca is. Is that Florida? Is that Mexico?
I have no idea what it is.
I don't even know where neither of us know where the fuck Boca is. So I'm not gonna be using your Patreon money to go to Boca. Honestly,
if it was Mexico, I would have said Cancun.
I do have some plans right now. Right now, the Patreon money is just collecting in the Patreon account. I haven't decided what I'll do with it, but like this show does cost a lot of money. I do invest a lot of my own money into making this show as good as I can, but I have some ideas of what I'd like to do with the money. I really would if I was like, Mr. Beast rich, I'd do Mr. Beast kind of things. Like I'd when it gets cold, I'd donate, have a can drive, give cans of soup to the homeless. Maybe like start an initiative of like well-dressed men, who are less fortunate. I'd love to, do like a makeover to, the misfortunate, like get them a haircut, get them a wardrobe makeover, give them like a couple of ironed, cleaned, collared button-up shirts and some slacks so that they could be, like totally employable, able to secure like a job of their own. I'm an animal lover. I'd love to, help out the animals of this world. And, those are just some of the things that I could think of where I could, send the money if I were to ever become rich and famous. So guys, make sure that you support the Patreon. If you're already a $1 a month subscriber, think about being a $5 a month subscriber. And if you're already a $5 a month subscriber, like Terry, you're the fucking GOAT. What's up, Terry? Hey, Terry, the fuck going on? I need to get that soundbite. And can you give me any kind of constructive feedback on the show?
I think you are doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
My man.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Do you have any?
The sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Do you have any closing remarks before we're done?
Eat well, drink lots of water, and sleep plenty.
All right.
You're fucking done, son. It's over.
You're done. You're done.
Once again, we want to humbly thank our listeners and pay them ample gratitude for the patronage. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to have such a high-quality interactive show. So thank you, audience.
Last one told the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yup.
I'd like to take this time to remind all of our listeners that we're spreading like a virus. The Good Faith Podcast is now officially on YouTube Live with video as well as archived there. And also Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, RSS.com, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, Listen Notes, iHeartRadio, and
Kate
Patreon.
M. said, have a good night, guys.
Good night, Kate. I love you.
Good night.
I love Dev. I love Easton. Let's try and convert Dev to the will of the Lord. And let's try and get him to believe in a higher power. Doesn't have to be a Christian God. Doesn't have to be a pagan God.
Kate M. said, we love you.
Let's just try and get Dev to believe in something greater than himself, even if his God is the almighty dollar or something. I don't know. Well, let's try and get Devin to be faith-based. Just something to think about. On Patreon, we're working to build additional value for the multiple tiers of donors with special content, super chat priority, and VIP in-person meetings. We do value your attention, so thank you for quieting your TikTok brain for the last 3 hours. This is a reminder, if you feel you got any value from our show, it takes basically zero extra work to like and subscribe, and it'll move us closer to our goal of having thousands of subscribers, which will bump us up in the algorithm and expose us to more potential listeners. If you guys want to share us with more of your friends, we would be absolutely delighted to extend our outreach. The quickest way for us to broaden our exposure is for you listeners to each share us with one friend. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. You can also create an alternative account, name it something silly like Sofonda Cox or Hugh Janus or Ben Dover, Mike Hunt, anything, something that'll make us laugh. If you're interested in joining the Erie Ubiama movement, feel free to retweet the hashtag. Also, stay cognizant to treat people with identical worldviews to your own with dignity and respect. Then if somebody's opinion deviates from yours in any way, our movement advocates for treating them like absolute shit. Remember, a civil level of respect is only earned by people who mirror your beliefs. Only respect those whose algorithm aligns with your own. If they are on the other side of the aisle, they're your enemy. If you live in the greater Philadelphia area, want to guest star on our show, want to go on a date with anybody on the show, or have a sincere desire to move in with us, we're down a roommate and we need one. Please reach out to us in an Instagram DM at Christopher Bulick. The Patreon link's in the description. All proceeds will go towards rent, food, electricity, new computer equipment to improve our general show quality, and Clark's medical expenses.
I open a savings account in your name. That way, 500 years later, it'll be worth billions. Billions.
Oh, I like money.
There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Oh, shit. To all of our faithful audience,
Terrence Boyle Jr. said, "Nice job, y'all. Metal yellow first red."
Wait, what did he say? He said metal yellow first red.
Whatever that means.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that even mean? What I just said. To all of our faithful audience, we wish you a wonderful weekend and a happy and healthy lifestyle. To all of you, we bid you goodbye.
Goodbye. If you need money, sell rocks. I heard that's what they do around here.
Long live Punjabi. Peace.